Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. Today is the first video in my influencer marketing series. I'm really excited about this because I feel like I'm bringing you like juicy gossip when really I'm just explaining an industry that has cropped up out of nowhere. Everyone has questions and you feel like you're not getting the answers. Well, I want to do this series because I want to be open, transparent, and honest with you guys, which I always am on my Instagram, on my YouTube. You guys know this already, but I just want to answer the questions that you have because I feel like everyone's asking questions and you're getting like a roundabout answer and it's very confusing. So all of those questions are going to be answered in this series. I'm really excited about it. And for this video, I'm not getting into the differences between the ways that influencers and content creators can make money. I have done a blog post about all of that. So you can go and check out that blog post. I'll link it in the description box. I'll also do a card that pops out on one of these sides. I don't know which side it is. And it basically details paid promotions, discount codes, trade exchanges, event appearances, any ways that influencers can work with brands. I've listed it in that blog post. If you want an overview of how influencers work with brands, that blog post is your friend. If you're consuming any content online, if you are following mommy bloggers, if you're following a DIY YouTube channel, if you're following influencers on Instagram, anything really, even food related stuff. If you're following those sorts of content creators online, you need to understand what you're getting into. You need to understand how to interact with that content, and you need to also get that this is a job for many people. It is a full-time job. It's a way that they make money. So you following them and engaging with their content enables them to create more content for you. But I'm going off topic here. In this video, we're going to detail a lot, but stick around if you want to hear more. So I know this is a YouTube spiel that I need to do, and I always end up doing it at the end of the video, and there's so many people that don't make it to the end of the video, so I'm trying to be smart. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe now for more influence-related content, mid-size style and fashion, beauty, home stuff, cooking, like day in the life kind of vlogs. Subscribe if you want more of that. Let's just talk about the influence marketing now. I know that's what you're here for. The very first thing I want to get into is what it takes to create content. I think there's a large misunderstanding that content creators and influencers just sit and talk to themselves all day or to a phone all day. They upload it and then they just get more followers and they just get brands that work with them, and it's a very simple process. It is far from simple. I actually saw a post the other day. So I'm going to put up the post over here that I saw that I found was just really interesting because it made it very simple, very clean cut to understand what goes into uploading an Instagram photo, uploading a YouTube video, uploading a blog post. Not all the details are listed in that post, but when you break it down even slightly, I think it just gives you guys, the viewer, the audience, the reader, an insight into what goes into creating the content that you see and scroll past in a second. So I think a lot of people see content and they think, okay, cool, let's detail an Instagram photo. You take a photo with your phone, you then put a little bit of an edit on it, and then you upload it to Instagram and you get lots of followers, you get lots of likes, you get lots of comments. It is not that simple. A lot of the time, there is a lot of planning, brainstorming, thought behind a photo that goes up on Instagram. For some people, this is not for everyone. The curation of the feed or the way your feed looks also comes into play. There is thinking about brand collaborations and how to mix up organic content and paid promotions, as well as trade exchanges. You want to split that stuff up so it's not just ad over and over again. That's just me personally. Now you got to take the photo. It's not as simple as just taking a photo with your phone. Some people do that, no shade at all. But for me, I like to take the time and effort to capture a beautiful photo that makes sense for the caption I'm going to put up. Whether I use my really big camera that I'm filming on now, or I have a second vlogging camera, or even on my phone. It takes a lot of time to kind of make the background look nice. The background just doesn't look like this when I live at home. I have created a good background for this photo, making sure that I put my makeup on and my hair is done. That's just like capturing the image and then editing. I have paid for editing software that I use on a regular basis to edit my photos and my videos. That is not spoken about. I take a lot of time to select the actual photos. From the hundreds that I actually take for one Instagram post, I have to go and select all of them, then edit them and upload. Uploading is simple. You just upload the photo. But then what happens afterwards is actually having to interact with the comments, interact with people that follow you, interact with your audience, because that's the point of Instagram. That's the point of uploading content, is to have people watch it and interact with it. Because then it just feels, if you're not interacting, it just feels like a monologue. It feels like you're just talking out into the air. So the interaction part of uploading a photo is key, especially for Instagram's algorithm. If you don't know much about the Instagram algorithm, let's not get into it in this video. I feel like it would be way too long, and it's already long. Random question that just popped up in my mind. Now that you understand what goes into content, a little bit of what goes into content, do you feel like it's encouraging you to take a step back and actually interact with the content that you're seeing online? Let me know in the comments. I would genuinely like to know. And now let's get on to something that I speak about online, but I don't feel like I've given enough detail about it. I feel like I've said it randomly and then not explained it, and I feel like it does need an explanation. A lot of the time I will say, if you love the organic content that I create, you need to also interact with the paid content. So let's start with the organic side of things. Organic content is essentially unpaid, but it's not unpaid. I'm paying to create that content. I'm paying for the editing software I use. I'm paying for the laptop I have. I'm paying for the ring light that's currently being used in this video. I'm paying for the camera, the tripod. I paid for the mic. So that's just some of the equipment that it takes to create a YouTube video, for instance, or create content online. It is not as cheap and simple and easy as most people would think. We don't just set up a camera, take one photo and upload it, or do one take of a YouTube video and then it's done. It's easy. It's uploaded. It's not that simple. So when I say unpaid or organic content, I actually mean I'm paying for it. Not the brand. There's no brand behind it. It's me. Me, the brand. I have paid for that content because I'm paying for the ring light, the camera, the mic, the software, the computer. Everything that goes into creating that content, I've paid for. So it's not unpaid content. I'm paying for it, and you guys are getting it for free. And I knew that going into this. I'm happy with it. And all the content that you consume online is essentially free. Everything on Instagram, YouTube, a blog post, all that kind of stuff. It doesn't take anything from you. So in essence, the influencer or the content creator is paying to share that content with you, because even this knit that, okay, I didn't buy the knit. I got it from my sister. But the tracksuit pants I'm wearing, the desk, all of those things I have bought to enable myself to create better content for you guys. So basically the first step is understanding that unpaid or organic content is actually paid, but it's paid for by the influencer or content creator. So I hope I've given a good enough explanation to understand that content is always paid for by someone, whether it's paid for by the brand or the content creator or influencer. It's never just free to create content. I think maybe if you understand that, it gives a little bit more leeway to understand paid partnerships and paid content and why it's necessary. Paid partnerships enable the content creators and influencers that you love to create more content. As someone who does this as a full-time job, I am essentially a small business. I'm a one-man team. I do all the admin, I do all the content, all of the creative thinking, all of the brainstorming, all of the editing and the uploading and the analytics and the reporting. I'm a one-man team. So partnering with brands is essential to keep this one-man team going. It enables me to pay for my rent, to pay for my car, to pay for more equipment that I need to create better content. Once you get those two balls, once you get that this unpaid content is essentially paid for by me, that the paid content that the brands pay for on my profile enables me to do the unpaid organic content. This paid for content is only possible if you guys actually interact with it the same way you would unpaid content, because it enables your favorite influencers and content creators to make more content for you that's free. It's helpful tips. It's how to make a bedside table, how to edit a YouTube video, how to find your style, how to love yourself. There are so many wonderful influencers and content creators out there that are just giving away wonderful resources for free. And I feel like the paid content enables that. So there should be an understanding, and I hope there's an understanding by the end of this video, that the paid for content by a brand is necessary. If you love a content creator or influencer and you want them to create more content, then you have to be, or I would hope that you'd be willing to interact with the paid content as well. I'm going to wrap that up because I feel like I could get very passionate about that, and it's a subject that I could talk about for days, and there will be more videos. Again, let me know in the comments if you have any questions or things that you want me to speak about in my next video or blog post. But let's get into negotiating with brands. Once again, there's a misconception that a brand just comes to an influencer or content creator and they say, okay, we have this new line of sustainable fashion and we would like for you to just pick one piece, or you get gifted the entire range, and then you just need to say that you love it. It's a blanket statement. You just love everything. The brand deals and paid partnerships that I work on take a lot of time. It takes months or weeks of back and forth. That's not taking into account contracts and rates and all of that negotiating. It's just about negotiating on the content that's going to be created. So I'm going to give you an example of the kind of proposal I like from a brand if they want to work with me, because I'm lucky enough that I'm at the stage where brands will come to me because they've seen the content I create online. They know that I have an authentic voice. They already know the kind of content I'm creating, and they can see their brand fitting well into that content. So when a brand comes to me, this is my ideal proposal. It's the brand saying, "Hi, LeChelle, we love what you're doing. We think that our brands could work really well together. They could mesh well together. And I feel like our brand voices speak to one another and speak well to your audience. We'd love to partner with you on this specific campaign, or we'd like to do a long-term partnership. And this is the amount of money we have to spend." Or they would say, "Okay, this is the kind of content we're looking for. Quote us on what you think this would cost." From there, that's just the initial email. That's the initial email from a brand saying, "We love you. We love your content. We'd love to work with you." And they understand your content. They're not just coming out of the blue like, "Hey, insert name. We want to have 3 Instagram posts and 12 Instagram stories, and we're willing to give you 3 products that cost 200 Rand each." That doesn't weigh up. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, I'm getting passionate about this again because this is a subject that is really important to me, and I feel like a lot of people don't understand it, which is why I'm making this video, but I'm getting sidetracked. I'm talking about negotiating. So once the initial email comes through from the brand, there is a lot that goes in after that. So they send the initial email, and then there's the negotiating process. Me replying saying, "That sounds great," or "I don't think our brands will fit together. Let's go down the stream of, okay, that sounds great. So I think, great, this is a brand I love." It's like, if we imagine that it's like a homey brand, it's Mr. Price Home, it's Bow Home, it's 8 Degrees South, it's all of those brands that I love saying, "We really want to work with you." And I get excited and I'm like, if I love it, you guys are going to love it. So then it starts the process of, "Great, I love that you want to work with me. Let's chat about what you want to get out of it and what I would like to share with my audience and what I think my audience would engage with." So it's never just brand coming to influencers saying, "Market this exact product in this exact way. You have to use these words." It's a lot of back and forth of the brand understanding my audience and then me understanding the return on investment that the brand needs. And we're trying to find a cohesive balance where you guys are still going to love the content and I'm going to be happy with what I'm putting out there. And the brand also gets to see the return on investment. It's never just brand comes to influencer, influencer posts, and then influencer gets paid. It's not that simple. There's a lot that goes into creating paid partnerships. So if you'd like me to do another video detailing that entire process and how I like to negotiate with brands on that front, let me know in the comments. So one of the last things I want to talk about before we wrap this up, because I feel like I'm just waffling on and this is going to be a really long video, but basically I want to talk about the trust that's needed between the content creator or influencer and the audience. That's you guys, the readers, the viewers, everyone that is engaging with the content or seeing the content online. I think there needs to be a level of trust between the two of us from the beginning, because I haven't given you a reason to question it. There's a level of trust that I, as the influencer and content creator, am going to create content that you guys love. If you don't love it, you don't need to follow. It's so simple. You're curating your timeline. Let's just be clear on that. So you can unfollow anyone. But what I'm talking about is if you have chosen to follow a content creator or influencer, there is a certain level of trust in the beginning that you enter into. If that content creator hasn't given you a reason to mistrust them, then I think that trust should still be there. So what I mean by the trust is, as the content creator or influencer, I'm always speaking from my point of view, just so we're clear, I have already decided that I want to create content that is authentic, transparent, honest, and fun. That is what I always want to put out to you guys. And also, I mean, sometimes it's not fun, sometimes it's hard, but that's fine. So going into it, understanding that and hoping that the person you're following has that same approach to creating content, I think there should be a trust, like a trust in knowing that this person is putting out content that you're going to love, that you're interested in. And even when it's paid content, it's still something that resonates with that person, with their audience, with that content creator. Sometimes it's not going to speak to you because everyone likes different things, and that's totally okay. But this is what I mean by the trust, is you're trusting that this person is being authentic and honest with themselves. They're making sure that they're partnering with brands that feel authentic to them and their audience. And until that trust has been broken, I think there doesn't need to be a questioning and I'm not going to engage with your paid content because I feel like it's wrong. You should be putting out free content all the time. I think that's a really unfair understanding and outlook to have for that trust relationship. It's like any other relationship, it's give and take. So in order for, and we've already detailed this, but in order for influencers and content creators to create the content that you love, there does need to be some kind of paid content. And simply put, this is maybe an industry that is misunderstood, but if you understand that when you drive to the airport, you see a big billboard that is promoting a new Netflix series, or you see an ad in a magazine that is talking about a new dry shampoo, you see an ad on a recipe site talking about insurance or banking or whatever it is, all of those things are ad placements on those platforms. So there has to be some kind of ad placement on Instagram as well in order for influencers and content creators to make money. We're used to traditional advertising. We're used to seeing a billboard. We're used to seeing an ad in a magazine. We're used to seeing an ad on any kind of news site, on the New York Times, on the New Yorker, on so many big sites that we read all the time. There are banner ads that we just click away or we don't take notice of. But if you see paid content on an influencer's platform, you're immediately like, oh my gosh, how could you promote that product? But it's exactly the same. It's literally exactly the same, except it's a normal person talking about it. It's a normal person that has the same kind of lifestyle to you, maybe, that likes the same things you do, that has the same body type, that looks similar to you. It's just that it's coming from someone that you sort of know. That's the only difference. One other thing to understand is that this is my job, which is insane. Like every time I think about it, I'm like, how can this thing that was my hobby at some point, something that I just needed to get my creativity out. That's the reason I started doing online content at all. And it was terrible from the beginning. You can go and check out my early videos, and there's even worse content on my blog. It's so bad. But anyway, the reason I started doing this content was because I wanted a creative outlet. And I'm so lucky. I'm happy to say that I'm so lucky that this has turned into a job. It's something that I get paid for now, which is completely mind-blowing, but it's my job. Just as you have a job, you go to your job and you get paid for your skill. You get paid for the time that you're actually at work. You've had to get a degree to do that job. You get paid for that degree, for that skill level that's enabling you to do your job. You get paid for all of that. So if this is my job, I think we all know that I should also, and content creators and influencers should also get paid for their jobs, even though it seems weird. And I think in a couple of years, it's going to be normal that content creators and influencers are making money, and this is just a normal job. It's becoming that now. But for now, I think it's just misunderstood. But you wouldn't be happy to go to work and not get paid. You wouldn't sit there for 8 hours straight and just happily type away if you were not getting paid for it. So yeah, just throwing that in there. I wanted this to be really quick and easy and just like kind of choppy and easy to understand, but it's not that simple. And I feel like if you got into the end, well done. I feel like this is going to be a long video, but well done. You deserve something. I don't know what it is. You deserve to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Do that. Okay, I'm gonna go, but remember to go and check out that blog post detailing how influencers and content creators work with brands and make money. It's a really good overview of all of the ways that they make money and how you can interact with that content. So hope this is helpful. If you have any other questions, remember to leave them in the comment section below. Subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.